Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest, the best weekly Stardom podcast anywhere in the world. I am, as always, Alex, and I am joined by the artist formerly known as Dylan, now known as the Drilla Deloney. And all I have to say is, Wagwan, my Drilla.
That sounded racist. I'm gonna be real. I've listened to Stormzy before, but this is disrespectful.
Anti-British, so
yeah. Our loyal B Priestley enjoyer has returned to us, all of the lovely fans of Stardom Quest, and returned to me. I missed you last week. Scotty was a great fill-in, but I did miss my usual dose of Alex bitching at me. It's always
back
it's always
this
a
week,
pleasure.
don't worry. I have a new
yeah.
sleigh. I have some new sleighs.
Oh yeah, you and Peps. I said this when it happened. You and Peps have become the most insufferable duo imaginable. The second that it happened, literally, I was in a call with Scott and Xavier, and I was like, "Oh, Alex and Peps are gonna be so bad. This is gonna be so bad. They're going to kill me with this." And it's started. Before we start the show, I'd like to note that I did not watch anything from the show that was uploaded because it was uploaded like 3 hours ago, and I was out. And then I got home, and instead of watching the show, I listened to Hatsune Miku and ate a cookie. So those are my priorities. I'm sorry. I wouldn't have been able to watch any matches, to be fair.
Yeah, you should have watched the entrance of EXV.
I saw the entrance of EXV.
Okay, that's fine. Cool. All right. Oh yeah, Peps posted it. Good on you, Peps. But yeah, head on over to the 5starnetwork.co for all of the great articles and podcasts from around the wonderful world of pro wrestling. I don't really know what's happened on there lately, and I'm sure there's something going on. There's always something going on, so check it out because that's how we can bring the show to you. So
yeah, listen to all the podcasts, all the lovely podcasts over there, including my other one that will be releasing at some point soon. We're gonna do a new episode about Gaia Japan.
Ooh,
just gonna be me and
Stevie. Damn.
Yeah. What the fuck? Wait. No, I was because we had some people lined up, but they couldn't really think of shows in time, and it started getting a bit like down to the wire. So we were just like, okay, let's just talk about a Joshi show. And I was like, we haven't covered Gaia Japan, because we kind of been sticking to that late 90s to 2000s era because that's the stuff that nobody really talks about enough, because it's the dark ages, but it's kind of fun to talk about. So we got a show from 2000 that we're gonna watch. Funnily enough,
choice.
The reason we chose it is because there's a Triple H title defense between Sakura Hirota and Police, I was like, I need some good Sakura Hirota in my life. I want to see some of that.
So you did not
There's also
choose.
some other good stuff on it. There's other good stuff on it, but
you did not choose the like legendary, was it Yokohama double fight or whatever they called it show where Gaia went to war with SSU. You did not pick the Crush 2000, like the first Crush Gals match in over a decade. You said, let's watch Sakura Hirota versus Police.
It's Double Destiny 2000. That's the show that we decided on.
Let me check the card because I feel like that's a name I remember.
There's Devil Masami versus Meiko, I believe. Yeah.
Let's go through it. This does have a Crush Gals match. Crush Gals versus
obviously.
Aja and Kansai. That's fantastic.
Exactly. Like, come on.
versus Hokuto.
Like I was looking for a Sakura Hirota match, but obviously I knew that I could trust. Like, I looked for good Gaia cards too. This wasn't all about Sakura Hirota. I just wanted to make sure she was on the card because I wanted to talk about her.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I would probably would have gone with like Double Destiny or something because that show is like the good shit. But you know, You,
Wait, this
you
is
picked
Double
well.
Destiny.
No, yours is it's like the proper Double Destiny, like the big one.
Well,
The one in like 99.
oh, year before. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like Asuka versus Nagayo. That's the one.
See,
I
but
think
we were
there's
kind of
another one as
hesitant to
well.
watch a Linus Asuka singles, like a big Linus Asuka singles in the.
Oh, dude, her and
thing.
Nagayo just like brawled. It was
That's
crazy.
true.
It was good. But yeah, anyway, that's your show.
We'll
That's
watch
cool
one
though.
of those.
Guy Japan is
We'll
cool.
think about it. Like
Yeah.
that was just kind of like that's the one that we wanted to watch because Sakura Hirota. But
That's fair. She's a beast. Yeah, there's no news for once from Stardom. At least nothing we won't touch on anyway, which is kind of new. Stardom is like they've changed the schedule, and now it's not as overwhelming because it used to just be there was so much Stardom all the time. Whereas
Yeah.
I have had time to like watch the most random shit now, and get Stardom in. Like I was watching Evo Girls. I watched Diana. Uh, shit's getting crazy out here. I might have to watch TJPW or something soon. At this rate,
I mean, not to get into it, but they have that crazy tournament final, the
yes,
tag league final.
yes.
It's like one of the best matches they could book in the company.
Daydream are pretty cool. I won't lie to you. They're pretty good. It should have been Karate Girls, but you know, it is what it is. You can't tell me Rika Tatsumi choking the shit out of Juri and Nagano would not have led to the greatest sequences of all time.
And then she retires.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're getting Arai and Nagano. Fuck that.
Yeah, exactly.
Never
I was
mind.
gonna say, like you should be happy.
No, we got something even better. Yeah, it's fine. Never mind. Yeah, I guess we just go on to the review part. There's only 2 shows that happened, and only one of them is up because we're a day early. But you know, there's not enough big picture stuff I think to keep us going. And there's obviously a pay per view this week. Oh, there is news. I forgot the news. You told me the news before we
I
came
did.
on.
I
So-
thought you just didn't feel like talking about it.
Kind of don't, but I feel like we should. Word from Dave Meltzer is that Giulia is now off the Windy City Riot show in April. Originally, the plan was for her to stay and lose the Strong Women's title at that match, but now she has said, nope, as soon as my contract is done, I am out of here. Which is kind of a bit of a change because I think the recent thing was that she had agreed to work through a certain day after her contract, but now it seems like she's done. Like it's done. Which indicates she will not be on the Buntai show, which puts Stardom in a very weird position because you would have thought that was where they were doing Micah and Giulia. But if Giulia's not on that now, you got to find another big main event. So I have no idea. Also, you need to get this belt off Giulia now. So how the hell do you do that?
Yeah, that's a great question, especially because Mina is challenging Mayu now. So it's like I feel
Giulia
like
has
Mina
a challenger, but when did they do it?
It's back here, and she doesn't really come to Japan because Rossi doesn't like her.
Yeah.
Or because they have beef. It's not because Rossi doesn't like her. It's because I don't think she likes Rossi. I think it's more of that. Yeah, it's all fucked. It's all fucked. You know, we didn't get to talk about it because obviously it's a New Japan thing, but like the Okada thing has kind of set a precedent for how fucking shitty this could all be. But you know, it's like it still feels really rough, you know, for a roster like Stardom that does kind of have this issue of like Julia needs to put Mike over. It was the same thing with Okada, but this is even more so because this is directly connected, right? This is Julia and Micah. They came in together. She needs to put Micah over, but the countdown's getting a bit short, you know. We talked about beforehand before the episode started that it's like, oh well, Julia. I'm pretty sure Rossi said that Julia was going to stay longer, right, or whatever. Somebody said that, and then it's like, yeah, but she also said that for the Tequila Saya retirement run in Ice Ribbon, and didn't really work out that way.
This is
either.
Giulia. This is Julia's true colors. To be fair, I'm
It's the MO, yeah.
not even surprised if she was like, oh yeah, I'll do that definitely, and then just went, no. Maybe she did. Maybe she did. That sounds exactly like her. This woman walked out of Ice Ribbon on a day's notice and said, "Yeah, I'm out of here. Bye." So I don't know, but it definitely leaves things in a weird spot because now you have to take that strong belt off her. I don't know if they're even running a strong show before Windy City
They're not.
Riot. So unless you do it on New Japan show, New Japan doesn't want anything to do with these belts. Back here isn't over for Fantastica Mania. None of the women are over for Fantastica Mania.
No, there are some women over for Fantastica Mania.
They're already on a tour, so they're just like being brought in for the one show. But they were here already. Yeah, they were announced like a while back.
Who do you think is on that show?
If I have to
there's two
guess,
X's, and I imagine they're Stardom wrestlers.
No, probably not. I would say it's from CML's partners. Probably Ice Ribbon Seedling, maybe. I'd say one of them will end up being Kyle Kobayashi or something.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's primarily where the
so
CML...
wild if outside of a championship match, the first women's show on a New Japan show in forever was Ice Ribbon wrestlers. Like in forever, like that. But that's exactly what they probably will do.
It is, because that's who CML works with in Japan. They work with Wave and Ice Ribbon and Seedling. I think they do work with Seedling. I think Dark Silhouette that was on one of their shows. I can't remember though. Yeah, like that's the connection there. They all go through Ladies Ring, so you're more likely to get the Ladies Ring partnership than Stardom, is my guess. But I don't know really.
We shall see. I hope Mayu Chica shows up.
Yes, sure. Yeah, I don't know what to do with Giulia. How do you get this belt off her? Also, Mercedes Moné is literally just about to be real, apparently. So Giulia, of course, will just barely miss the window for that match based on this, unless she does it on her own terms. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Mercedes is vacationing in Japan, quote unquote. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I wonder what she's up to there. There's a lot of moving parts.
She'll probably just take a bunch of pictures hanging out with TGPW girls.
Probably, yeah.
And then leave, and everybody's gonna be like, "Why? We were so close."
Yeah, I don't know. We're being teased with a lot because Saori is out here being like, "Hey, I want to wrestle Giulia," and it's like, well, Giulia's gonna be.
She also brought up Mayu's name for the first time in what, like 4 years, like in a positive sense. Like, I'd be cool with wrestling her.
Yeah, I don't know. Saori, you gotta do the thing, man. But yeah, Giulia, she's apparently not on this Windy City Riot show, which kind of ruins some of the plans. And yeah, if she kind of ducks out before Buntai, Stardom might have some changes on their hands. Also, does that mean she's just going to be in a big send off at the Cinderella final? Is she going to overshadow the Cinderella final? Who knows? It's all fun and games.
I don't like Giulia enough for this. You know what I mean?
She is definitely going to wear her welcome thin with a lot of people.
Like I have friends who really love Giulia, and I get where it's like they want like good things here, but like I do not like Giulia enough for me to not be annoyed by all of the potential bullshit that she's about to inflict on the company.
Yeah,
it's like I love Okada. I love Okada, and I also was not ready. Like I was also fucking pissed watching him beat the fuck out TMDK. I like Giulia less than I like Okada. So I'm gonna start getting angry.
Yeah. These Bushiroad companies, they're not having a good time with anything. So we're in for a fun year ahead, huh?
Fun
anyway,
while. I mean,
it's fun. I don't know, maybe. Anyway, review. So the first show to review is on January 27th. This is New Year's Stars 2024 in Sendai. They did 331 fans in the Sendai PIT, which is a pretty good number. I'm not going to compare or contrast. I don't feel like checking. But it looks good to me. I will say, what was so impressive about this show is I forgot it was in the Sendai PIT. The wrestling was so good that the crowd was actually alive. Like, they made noise. And I was shaken to my core. I was like, this is how good Stardom's house shows have been and the wrestling has been in Stardom, that Sendai came alive for a show. That is unheard of. These people were quiet as a museum for Utami versus Mayu.
This is par for the course for Sendai PIT, by the way.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
that's
like right in
fair.
the middle of the past like 2 years.
Considering all the other venues they've run is like down, maybe they should
Yeah,
be
no,
happy
that's
to
good.
be
Yeah.
on course. But yeah, no, Sendai crowds have been historically bad for Stardom, so for them to actually bring a crowd to life is pretty impressive.
Oh, undoubtedly. I mean, Stardom crowds, like the the big things you can kind of take away from Stardom is a lot of like the atmospheric things, and one of them is the crowds. If a crowd, if you're in a smaller venue or a smaller, city for Stardom, it's very likely the crowd just is silent for most of the show.
Mm.
And it's not like a Magnus, like, oh, the crowds don't react. It's like literally Stardom crowds do not. They don't. Like you could run a New Japan mat show in the same venue and it will be loud, but Stardom crowds just don't really do that outside of like Korakuen Hall or Oda Ward or such. So a Sendai crowd, especially a Sendai pitched crowd, especially being good in terms of just like crowd reaction is a heavy hill to climb, and it's cool that they got to do that.
Yeah, and I wasn't here to talk about it, but I thought the Takadana Baba crowd was much better as well.
Mm.
Like they've just had really good crowds this year, and I don't know if that's because the wrestling is better or if it's the schedule is less often, so the crowds are just a little bit more excited for the shows or whatever it is. But like in general, I feel like they've had better crowd reactions for most of the year so far. Um, so hopefully that continues, especially for the pay per views, because the pay per views often are just they're like libraries. It's not fun. So hopefully that can continue. But I watched some stuff from this show. I didn't get to watch it all. I'm very busy with the writing stuff because it's the transfer deadline for football, and that means there's like 20 news things a day. So the fact that I even got to watch any of this and take time away to record is a miracle. But I did kind of jump in for a few matches. I did not get to see Mei Seira beat Miyu Amasaki in 6 minutes. I was gonna do it because Mei
It's
Seira
wild that
is
that's
a
6
beast.
minutes. Like that,
You know,
like that feels like a match that definitely could have gone like 4.5. You know what I
yeah.
mean? 5.
Well, to be fair, the times for the other matches are very short, so I think they were just like giving Kevin some room to show out.
Yeah,
Um,
it looks
yeah,
good. Like the 4 spots you could see in the pictures look fun.
yeah, it's a Mei Seira match. She's good. I mean, let's be
It is
fair.
very good.
That's
Yeah,
so I was gonna watch it. I did watch Mai Sakurai versus Sayaka Kurara.
that is insane.
Mai Sakurai won in 5.5 minutes with the escargot. I thought she put in a good performance against Carrara in that it was like the lady character was just kind of like I'm better than you, peasant, and the rookie who gets beat up got beat up. So it was good in that sense. Like they both just played their roles quite well. Yeah, Sayaka Carrara, I'm very into it. She's growing on me. I really like the babyface act. It's like very easy to do, but she does it really well. Yeah, she was throwing them forearms. So
I discussed it with Scott last week. Carrara is way closer to Rana than I think people realize. Not in that Rana is bad, but in that Carrara is like way better
Mhm.
than the average. Like she's quite good for a rookie who has been designated as like the weakest of the pack, right? So yeah, shouts out to her. When is Rian showing up?
I have no idea.
Because she's
Maybe
been
they're
like
waiting
taking
for the
pictures with
Karkin.
Yuzuki and stuff.
They might be waiting for Karkin because I've
Perhaps.
wondered, is New Blood dead because they haven't announced the New Blood and the future belt is on a pay per view and they have a rookie debuting and they haven't said hey she's debuting on a New Blood. It's just hey she's debuting. So I
I hope
have
not. New
my
Blood's sick.
I like it, but I think it was a very sponsor led event, and if the sponsor doesn't want to sponsor it anymore, I feel like they just wouldn't run it. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but I that was my question recently because I went, "There's no New Blood show, and they're giving away the title match on a pay per view, and the title matches are kind of the draw for New Blood. So does that mean there's no more New Blood? I don't really know.
What
I
happens
would
with
I
the
would hate to see
belts?
it go.
The tag belt
Uh,
specifically.
yeah, I think you could just rebrand those as like lower card belts pretty
They
easily,
should.
but you know.
I was
Uh,
hoping, since there's no New Blood in sight, I was hoping they would run Wingori versus Yoda and Sakurai on this pay per view, like in the opener, but they did not. I imagine Yoda's busy because she's a busy girl, but
She's getting
that would
ready
have been cool.
to get a passion injection. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I like that, and yeah, that's my theory on New Blood. I wonder if it's gone, but I hope not, because it was a fun little brand
It's
there for a while.
best
Um,
Haruka Umezaki performances
yes, yeah, she
in
got.
recent memory.
Yeah, I did watch her and Unagi. I never thought I'd see Unagi carry a world title match until this, but you know what? She's good. I like the Unagi. Um,
See, I like Umesaki. She just when she misses, it's the
oh
most
yeah,
far off miss I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like when she's good, I enjoy her a lot. Everybody knows I'm a big fundamental wrestler type of guy, so I appreciate her style being kind of subdued in that sense. But when she misses, it's very hard to watch.
yeah. She's just not got enough to like make up for those shortcomings. She's just not experienced enough of those long main event matches.
Mhm.
So when they don't fall her way, she's kind of a bit bland. So yeah, I didn't. It was a good match. It was just like Unagi really brought all of the excitement. So I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see how she does against Yuki Miyazaki.
I'm right. I'm right. But yeah, I didn't watch the next match on this show. It was Momo and Kid beating Ano and Unimizumori. I figured it would just be more of Ano and Kid teasing their match. Starlight Kid did get the win with the Star Suplex hold. I assume she pinned Unimon. They did show each other the belt. It was, your standard white belt build. Um, Suzuki and Giulia beat Ruaka and Natsuko Tora in our next match. Giulia beat Ruaka in 8 minutes with the Bianca. I didn't see this because I don't have any interest in the Giulia Suzuki pairing. I won't lie to
Neither do
anybody.
I. On paper, this sounds like a really fun match, but
Mm.
also it the where we are at right now with Julia and with Ruaka and with all four of these people makes me have pause about it. You know what I mean? Because BMI 2000 is a great tag team when they're kind of like
Hmm.
feeling it. Suzu's tremendous. Julia is very good, especially like she's had great tag runs, you know. But right now, with Suzu and Julia just kind of like phoning it in so that they could have this like goodbye tour, and with Ruaka uh, having no light at the end of the tunnel and just not giving a fuck, and Natsuko coming off of, you know, getting pinned like 5 times in a row since the 5 star. It's just not like this is a pairing that should be good, but I'm not. I'm gonna go back and watch. I'm not expecting too great of work here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. The Julie Suzu thing, see, it feels like such a placeholder, especially for Suzu coming off such a
Mhm.
big loss. So I
I
don't know.
think
I'm just
without
not
that
into
tag
it.
title match, it really hurts for Julia
Yes,
Suzu.
yeah, the crazy star. Yeah, I don't know.
If we got that,
It's
it would be like, okay, Suzu got her little thing to start the year, and then she can kind of
Mhm.
coast because you're gonna coast eventually if you're in Suzu's role. But she just didn't really get to start the year hot like you would want her to.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. She's one of the only people who's really suffered so far this year because everybody's been doing really well in Stardom, whereas Suzu is kind of just she's kind of out at sea. I don't know if that's because she's attached to Julia, who is also out at sea, or if it's just they were planning on her being champion and now they're like, oh shit, what do we do? But yeah, I'm not super big on the Suzu Julia pairing. It just doesn't do much for me. I don't really care about their ice ribbon time together because it's more of a hey, we were friends in the dojo, not even on screen because Suzu hadn't even debuted yet. So yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really do much for
They
me.
used to be friends a long time ago. They used to be friends. No? Okay. We can move on.
Please never do that again.
I used to sing that song for Mina and Himeka.
No, but
Because
please,
remember when they
please
did
don't.
that really
Please,
weird, like long-winded
I remember
build?
that was around the
This
time where I said
forever
Mina
be
needs to like leave.
when you used to be friends. No? Okay. That's for all the Veronica Mars fans out there, all two of you. Um, yeah, no, yeah, that was when you said Mina had to leave, and I liked that match. I liked her with Sameka. It was a fun match. But yeah, you were done.
She was bad. What can I say? I'm sorry. It was a terrible promo, and her wrestling was not good at the time. But now
Man,
she is
one
mother.
more one more funny thing. I don't know if it was the Jamaica one. It might have been, but that Mina promo where she was screaming and crying, which she does a lot in her promos.
Yeah.
And Utami was doing Utami Nakano, like to the side of her. Like she was on the other side of the table, and Utami was just posing, being all cute as Mina's crying, ripping paper, eating paper, and Utami's just doing like the poses, the tam poses. It was crazy. Uh, I still have that vividly in my brain of of that happening. It was very funny.
Okay.
We can move on.
I did watch the next match, which was Yuzuki, Hazuki, Hanan, Saida, and Mayu Iwatani beating the God's Eye team of Ranna Yagami, Sayaka Kashima, Amisore, Mirai, and Siri. Yuzuki got the win over Ranna in 12.5 minutes with a rolling arrow. This was a fun tag. This was where you really see the difference in Stardom this year and last year, because like all of the Star stuff was just based as hell. And even some of the gods, like, there was like a brief
When's the
Siri
last
Hazuki thing.
time? When's the last time you saw like a 5-on-5 match that didn't include a Oedo tie too?
Oh,
Like
dude, like forever
this
ago.
is stupid.
Yeah. So I was very interested in this, especially to see Yuzuki with stars. And I gotta say, you were right. She is a great fit for stars. She fit right in with the jacket color scheme. You know, she gets the bright blue or the dark blue. Mayu has the light blue. She's smiling a lot more, and it's just kind of a very natural. Like she is actually emoting now, which she wasn't really doing when she was on her own. Because now
I
she
think she
seems to feel a lot
was
more
to some degree,
comfortable.
but yeah.
She just seems a lot more comfortable, like emoting during her entrance and stuff like that. So she has slipped in really well with stars here. Um, the match did kind of grind to a halt when it was her and Rana at the end. I won't lie, you could tell just the difference in experience and pace. Like the stuff was good, especially Rana when she got her comeback. Like some of her stuff was really good. The like run up kick in the corner was awesome. Um, it was definitely at a different speed to the rest of the match, and you kind of realized just how much these two need to keep growing, because the rest of the match was just wrestled at such a different pace to them two. Um, yeah, I mean that's going to happen when they have less than 20 matches each. So,
Yeah,
but I just thought
and
it was
that's
really
like a
noticeable.
that's a Stardom thing too. Because like even to this day, when you throw Waka in as an anchor, like it's the same thing in a lot of instances. Not as like you could tell that she's more experienced than these two, I'm sure, but that is kind of just like the essence of a closing stretch when you leave the two pinnable wrestlers in there to fight it out. It kind of becomes like the weakest wrestlers, I guess you could say. It kind of struggles to keep up all of the cool shit that's happened beforehand. And this is God's Eye versus Stars, so there's a lot of cool combos here,
Not
clearly.
just that, not just that. They went from Ida and Mirai
See, like
throwing
that's
them
yeah,
lariats to Yuzuki versus Rana. They set them up for failure right there,
yeah,
because Ida
that's
and
rough.
Mirai were going at it. They were throwing them things. I
the
was like,
singular
hell
the
yeah.
singular reason I wish that Mariah's title reign went longer was that she could get challenges against Ida and Hana,
Mm-hmm.
especially Ida specifically, because those motherfuckers just kill each other. But yeah, so that is kind of just like inherent to a lot of these closing stretches for these big tag matches, with the rookies. But yeah, I get why they're there, and hey, I'm sure they will get a lot better because they're already pretty decent. Um, and it's been like a month.
Yeah, no.
Think about that. It's been like a month and a half since Ron debuted.
Yeah, literally. Like it was
Not
just
even half.
apparent
Yeah.
because you go from Mayu doing Mayu things and Ida and Mirai to them, and it's like, okay, yeah, they have a lot to go. Which is totally fine. You gotta learn on the job.
When
Um
you're on the best roster in wrestling, like there's gonna be room to grow.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. But you know what? It was a good tag. I did enjoy it. And then we had our main event, and this was one of the more important matches, because we learned the name and the dynamic of this new faction involving Mina Shirakawa, Maika, Waka Tsukiyama, Hanako, and Xena, who wasn't on this show but is a part of the group and will presumably be here soon. Um, I really like the group. I said this kind of on Twitter last week. I like the group. I like it even better after seeing them together. I kind of like what they're going for. There's a kind of a two-headed kind of attack here where Micah and Mina are almost seen as equals. And even in the name, it's presented as such. It's, E Nexus V. It is Mina working with Micah. Like, that's the whole flow. And it's not so much that there's one leader as much as they are both leaders working together. I think it just really works because you have Micah, who's a more controlled, calm presence. I think that stands out a lot more next to Mina Shirakawa. Mina's doing the boob slide. She's doing the big over-the-top ring introductions. She is dancing, and then Micah just comes out looking cool as hell. And I think that aspect of Micah was always going to get eaten up alive by Giulia, because Giulia is just too cool for anybody really to jump off the page next to her. Whereas when you're standing next to Waka and Mina, it's a lot easier to be the cool, calm, collected, strong member. I think the dynamic just works really well, and it's enhanced both of them, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I like. I've it's grown on me like vibe wise, and I do like the comparison you made. It is kind of like a a Hydra, right? Where it's like it's it's this mythical force that has these two heads, even though most of them have three heads in Greek mythology. But where it's like it's completely separate, but they work very well together, and that's kind of like the vibe that they're going for. Because like even if you just look at the picture of them together, like you could see almost like a curve in between Waka and Mina with their pinkness and their smiling, and then Micah and Hanako, who are cut from the same cloth theoretically. And I kind of like that divide there. I will say I think the name is terrible, and we'll talk about that when we get to
I think it got misrepresented because the Stardom account spelled it out in full, but they never did. They don't really do that. It is simply E Nexus V, which I think is a much cooler shorthand. And Empress Nexus Venus. Like, they don't say that. So I think E Nexus V is a lot better. But I don't know.
Yeah, I still. Y'all want me to call them the Nexus? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at. Because I'm feeling like calling them the Nexus. Or electric vehicles. That was the other one. They're EV. Just I immediately think of electric vehicles. So they're the Teslas. But no, I think it's a testament to how good of a roster this is, that this quartet plus Xena feels, and I I dare speculate, was thrown together within the past like month. I think that the fact that it works so well is a testament to how great this roster is. Because you cannot tell me that when Michael won the red belt, it was like, okay, and now she's gonna go team with Mina. Like, I do not think it was that far out thought of, if I'm being completely honest. Uh, so I think it is in some sense a testament to how great the roster is. It's a testament to how Micah and Mina really want this shit to work. I talked about with Scott last week. That's like this group is full of wrestlers who have this like chip on their shoulders, who are deemed to never win the big ones, right? Who's gonna
Mm-hmm.
win the red belt, Yuzuki or Hanako, Alex?
Yuzuki.
Who's gonna win any belt, my Sakurai or Waka, Alex?
My Sakurai.
Who won a belt, Mariah May or Xena, Alex?
Mariah May.
Like, this group is like inherently like, I am going to effort my way into making this shit work. And so I think it is very clear that they are putting max effort into just making shit work. And I think that is incredible that they've done it, right? Like, I think that the vibe is uh, so specific and so well done that I'm just like, I respect how much effort they're putting into it, because they need to. They put effort into everything they do because again, Maika wasn't supposed to win. Mina wasn't supposed to win. Hanako's not supposed to win. Waka's not supposed to win. Xena's not supposed to win. Like, these are wrestlers who, for all intents and purposes, shouldn't be the top guys, right? But they're gonna fucking, you know, through their fucking willpower, make it to that point. And, Maika has. And I think that all kind of is captured in their vibe. That's like, like I said, I don't think this was supposed to happen, but they're making the most of it, and I respect the hell out of that.
Yeah, and I mean, it could all go awry, obviously, but so long
It
as
probably
they
will.
maybe
If I'm being honest, a year from now, this might be rough.
possibly, but so long as, at least to me, so long as they present it as a two-headed dragon of Mina and Maika's collective visions kind of working together, I feel like you're going to be fine. So I don't know. That was just my initial take on it. I do feel like this group is going to enhance Maika a lot. I mean, even just how she conducts herself, she's a lot more loose. She's a lot more cool, I think, in general, than she was when she was in DDM. And I think that's just a lot easier to present yourself as when you're next to Waka and Mina Shirakawa. So I think this group is going to do a lot of good for Maika. And I think we've already seen just how good it can be. So that's kind of my initial thoughts on it. The match itself.
Go.
The match itself, I thought you can see where this group needs work because it was just Waka getting beat down into like the normal tag stuff, and Waka getting beaten down is a tale as old as time. So we might need to move away from that eventually, and maybe when Xena is here, we'll see a lot more from them when it's like Maika, Mina, and Xena. I think that's a trio that could have a lot of potential. But so long as they're resting on the Waka gets beat up thing, it's kind of like, all right, yeah, but the matches are going to have to keep up with everybody else.
I mean, looking at the photo highlights, Hanako's not in them. It's just Waka and a little bit of a comeback from Maika.
The pictures aren't really good because there was a lot of Saya. There was a lot of Saya and Maika. I thought they set up their match pretty well. There was an extended Mina
with their setups, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, there was an extended Mina Utami sequence as well. There was Lady C with Waka. There was a few Lady C ones. So yeah, there was a lot of showcases in it, but Hanako didn't get much. It was a pretty heavy Saya versus Maika kind of focus. It was weird because it felt like 4 individuals rather than a team, and I get that they're only together a week, so that'll happen. But it was just like, okay, you split off and do your singles thing. You split off and do your singles thing. You split it off. Especially against Queen's Quest.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Queen's Quest is a well-oiled unit. Matches. That's true, but I think Queen's Quest did actually do teamwork. So it was like, okay, you have one team here and one collection of 4 people. So I thought that was interesting. It was still a good match because I mean, these quests are awesome. Mina Utami was just okay. I thought Utami wasn't. I didn't think Utami was very good in this match. Actually, she was kind of off the pace, which is really weird. Like, I've never seen that from her, but she missed some of her stuff.
I think Utami and Mina have negative chemistry together.
It wasn't just with Mina though. There was other parts later in the match where she would like come in and just completely whiff on something, and I was like, that is not on you. Yeah, it was really strange. But the Saya and Maika stuff, I think, would carry the match for most people. It was very good.
That's good. I want to get into the post match because that's where all the stuff went down.
Yes. So Maika gets on the microphone and says, "Hey Saya, you aren't broken yet. Tomorrow we'll have another prelude, and I'm going to break your arm." So that's insane. Maika's been like this. She's been very nasty to Saya in the build to this. She's just like, I'm going to pluck your feathers. I'm going to...
And it's rough because she's going to win. She should win. Maika should win. But, like, Saya's just getting belittled at every turn and is going to have to eat it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's weird, but...
Presumably.
Saya's kind of been doing her own work to do it, and I know she pulled out a submission the next
we'll talk about
day.
that in a bit.
Her
yeah.
promos have been kind of interesting, where she's like, "I'm going to need all the Phoenix specials to help me win." She even mentioned the Phoenix Splash, so we'll get to that in the preview section, I guess. Kind of what I'm expecting there. Yeah, Mike has been very much the aggressor, whereas Saya is like, "Listen, I have stuff in my bag. Don't worry." And Mike is like, "You can bring everything you got. I'm going to break you. I'm going to destroy you." Which is a good lane for Micah, because that's kind of her thing. She's a power wrestler, so she probably should be hell bent on destroying people.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it later, obviously, but it is quite interesting the way that they're kind of doing this and we talked about it before, that it's like Micah's very much the simple wrestler, and Saya Kamatani is the exact invert of that. And that's kind of what makes their feud so cool. But it's rare that we see Micah win, right?
Yeah.
It's rare we see Micah overcome all of the flashy moves of Saya Kamatani. So it'll be interesting to see that side of the story, right? We'll talk about more when we get into the preview, but like I'll look up the statistics of that, because I feel like I just don't remember Micah beating Saya in the past like 4 years, and they've had like 17 singles matches.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the future stuff was maybe the last time Micah was getting one over on Saya. There was the occasional pin in tags as well, because they would just trade pins sometimes. Um, yeah, I don't know. You'd have to look into that.
I'll check it later. Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't announce the group name. They did it was kind of an awkward rollout, because Micah wasn't fully sure. She was like, "Did I pronounce that right? Am I doing it right?" And Mina had to be like, "Yes, you are. It's fine." So kind of strange. They did explain it. It's My Empress and Venus, and Nexus means to struggle together or to bond together. Mina said, "Yeah, we'll just call it EXV. It's easier." And then she calls out Mayu Iwatani for the IWGP Women's Championship. And
Yeah.
Mayu didn't show up at first. Mina was like, where are you? Where'd you go?" And Mayu came out and was like, "Sorry, I missed that. What happened?" Which is prime Mayu. Prime Mayu. She has been on her shit lately, and I love it.
I think she might kill Mina Shirakawa,
Let's hope
depending
not.
on where the match happens.
That's what I'm interested in, because on the Stardom World, when the thing ended, they put up this graphic saying that New Japan will discuss the challenge and they will make an announcement at a later date after adjusting their schedule. I forgot that this belt is technically a New Japan belt. So,
Yes.
it's based on the wording, it seems like they're running this on a New Japan show.
I mean, either Windy City, the Stardom Philly show, or Sakura Genesis before or after? I think it's after. Might be before. No, it might be before. Maybe they run it on Sakura Genesis again. I could see them wanting to run it once on Sakura Genesis every year, and that's like their like, okay, here, goddamn,
Maybe.
you get a match on a main show. I could see them maybe running it there, but we'll see.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, maybe they'll do it at the Cinderella final. Maybe they'll do it at another Stardom show. But then that graphic made me remember that this is in fact a New Japan belt. So
It's
they
either in
will.
America or it's Sakura Genesis.
Yeah, I don't know. Would you do this at Windy City Riot?
You could
I
do it at Windy
guess.
City Riot or at the Stardom Philly show.
Would they announce it that far in advance though? Because isn't that not till April? Most of these things are in April. So I
Yeah,
think
nothing is happening until April, Alex.
no. So that's what gives me pause.
Unless this
I
happens
think
on the Sakura Genesis tour. Maybe the anniversary show, but that's
is there
very.
no big New Japan show in February?
The anniversary show is in late February, early March, I think.
What if they do it there? Because they did make it seem like they would be doing it, and they would need to like adjust the schedule to get it on a New
I could see
Japan
them running
show.
on the anniversary show,
Yeah,
because I don't know what they'll run on the anniversary show, honestly, because
no.
everybody's leaving, and it's right before the New Japan Cup, which is kind of gonna be
Hmm.
their restart for
Hmm.
like everything. They're kind of gonna. That's where they have to kind of draw a line in the sand. So I could see them doing it at the anniversary show, but I also know that like I hate to say it, but if any show was considered sacred by New Japan and by its roster and by it's that one, and I can understand them being like women, like of any
What,
show.
what if
It would be
this
that
is
one.
based women respecter Tanahashi, like throwing
It
his
should be.
power around? 'Cause,
He should.
I wonder if he's gonna like push for that. I don't know though. Like it just the graphic made it seem like they were doing this on a New Japan show. Maybe they're not, and they just don't know. But the reason I don't see why else you would go, oh, New Japan has to discuss this
Well,
and announce something.
because like kayfabe, literally speaking, it's an IWGP belt, which means that the International Wrestling Grand Prix Committee
Yeah, but
needs to
Sonny
discuss it.
wouldn't care about that. Why would Sonny
That's true.
put that on? Like he
That's true.
knows we don't give a shit. So I don't know. So that just perked me up because I did forget that this is in fact a New Japan belt for a while there, and that brought me back down to earth. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see when that is. Whenever it is, Scott and I are going to war because
Oh yes, Scotty reminded me that the last time, maybe not the last time, but that one time that they wrestled and Mayu just fucking ate her alive and beat her, and then hit her pose and left.
yeah, that was pretty iconic. Mayu is indeed an icon, but she is not allowed to do that this time because Mina
She
is much better now.
Look at what she did
So
to Shuri, man.
yeah, but
She's stunted on women better than Mina. Let's be fair.
Shuri is tired and she's like old now, so she's
Easy,
she's got like
ageist
raggedy
piece of shit.
bones. Whereas Mina is so young and
Wait a
youthful.
second. Hold on, I need to look this shit up.
Don't just go with me. But yeah, I don't know. That's gonna be a great match either way. I mean, Mina is great.
Mina is
Mayu
older than Shuri by 2 years.
Well, fine then. Mina has the veteran wit of an older woman. She will.
Oh, she's the crafty veteran. You're comparing her to Chase Owens now. Is that what we're doing?
You could just not. You just not. Drilla.
Is Waka the new Kenta? That's terrible. I hate everything about what I'm saying.
You should. I don't know.
On
I
the
expect
name,
nothing less.
on the name earlier, I accidentally I was reading it and I said Envy, and I was like, it'd be so cool if the name of the faction was Envy instead of E Nexus V, but it wouldn't really make
I
much
like
sense.
E Nexus V. I don't know.
I think
It's
it's a
real
bad
like
name.
kind of sci-fi vibe. Do you not think so?
It's you and Velke versus the world on that one.
All right.
You
That's
know,
actually one thing. The group keeps doing this like to the world. We're going to the world, and they like point up, which I think is an actress girls thing. There's one of the groups there who like point to the sky and put the one up.
To be fair,
And yeah,
everybody points to the sky.
that's true. But E Nexus V seems to have stole it because they say, "Yeah, we're going to the world," and they like point to the sky. Because Club Venus, the space case. So yeah, I don't know. That's the thing.
The stars, the cosmic angels don't fall far from the stars is what I noticed. But I was talking with Peps about it. This might be, and I'm sure James will correct me if I'm wrong. This faction, Mina and Micah, are the first co-leaders since the original Oedo Tai, with Kyoko and Act. Ever since then, there's been one leader of every faction, and no, like
What was the
mutual.
situation of the stars when it first popped up? Because wasn't that
It was
Mayu and
Mayu.
somebody else?
It was
Sure.
Mayu and Tam, but then it very quickly
Just before that, though, when it was Stardom Army, was it not her and Hiroyo or something? Was Hiroyo in a different group?
Hiroyo was Team Jungle.
Oh yeah, okay, Team Jungle. Yeah, because I thought Mayu had
maybe
somebody with
Team
her.
Jungle you can count as Jungle and Hiroyo being co-leaders, but not really because Hiroyo wasn't even around that much. It was Jungle's thing.
You can still be a co-leader. I don't know.
But I also forget that Team Jungle pre Jungle Assault Nation was like a faction.
That's
like,
true.
because Konami was in Team Jungle for like a day, and I was like, it's like, like I guess not really, it's just factions are weird. But yeah, as far as I'm aware of the major factions in the company's history, this is the first time since the original Edo Tai, and before that, I'm pretty sure that's it. Because before that, it was the Heisei-gun and Riwa-gun.
There was a lot of factions. There was a lot. I don't know. I would have to look into it, but I think there was probably one.
Like I said, I'm sure James will get mad at me.
Yeah, he
He's
will.
the
Don't worry.
historian.
Yeah, just about Stardom. Very random special interest.
Yeah, a 13-year history. What a crazy to dive into.
A lot can happen in those 13 years, but
And a lot has.
that's true. But yeah, we have another show that went up. Well, it didn't go up; it happened. We couldn't see any of it. It's not on Stardom World. This is on January 28th. This was Stardom Tokorozawa 2024. This is in Tokorozawa, Sakura Town, Japan, Pavilion Hall A. They did 404 fans here. In the opener, Saki Kashima beat Waka
Holy
Tsukiyama
shit.
with an arm stiffening.
She
an arm
won
bar?
with the disc armor. Yeah.
That's based, honestly.
That's sick. Did you hear what Rana, like the Rana and Saki exchange?
No?
That was really funny. When Rana joined the group, Saki was like, "Okay, so I got another person to defend me. This is sick. Like this is great." And Rana's like, well, actually, I would really like to grow as a wrestler. So it would be great if while I defend you, you teach me how to wrestle better." And she's like, "Man, she's already trying to get me to do work." This fucking kid.
This is the Saki who has made it her gimmick to run away from matches. During Stars and God's Eye, she wasn't there for the finish because she ran backstage and was chased by Hazuki.
She's like, that's my bad.
She
That's my
she
bad.
just got out
Need
of
to check
dodge.
something.
Yeah, she got out of dodge. Hazuki followed her. It was great. Dami Sore beating Sayaka Kurara and Mai Sakurai in just under 6 minutes with a lariat. She obviously pinned Kurara. That match sounds like a fresh kind of hell. I won't lie to you.
Oh yeah, we made jokes about it last week.
That's good. I like it. Then had Saori Anou and Yuna Mizumori beating Starlight Kid and Rocca. Saori Anou beat Rocca with the Tom Stondra, I think. I can never be sure. There's the names don't translate properly because they're from French.
Tantadoru?
I don't know. It's not a Tom Stondra.
That's weird. That's weird because that's katakana, so it should be like pretty direct. Yeah, it's Tempstandra or Tom.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, the flippy do. We
then
then had
the
Yuzuki,
standing over the castle.
Yes. We then had Yuzuki and Hazuki beating Lady C and Dutami Hayashishita. Hazuki pinned Lady C in just about 10 minutes with a Hazuki straw. That is nasty.
Queen's Quest felt the moon's power. It's Team Moon
That's
2.0.
right. That's right. We had Hana and Saida and Mai Utani beating Momo Anabe, Rina, and Natsuko Tora. Ida pinned Rina with the Be a Master in just under 8 minutes.
Which is the jungle sit out driver thing.
Yes.
It's not as cool as the jungle buster, but it's a move. It is a cool move though. And hey, fucking Ida winning a pinfall over a BMI or not BMI, XL contingency is kind of insane. That doesn't happen like ever. It's happened maybe like 3 times in history. So shouts out to her. Even though it was over Rena, it's still like it's just rough for her.
Yeah, that's her like second win this year. Are they getting notions here about Saida? I'm very very curious.
Her over Rena is interesting.
Kind of, yeah.
We'll see.
Well, one is the future champion, so she.
That's what I mean.
Pinned.
Is that is Rena? She can be pinned, but it's not like she's like the number one. Like pinning Ruaka is like okay, well they enjoy having Ruaka get pinned.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, but pinning Rena is a bit harder to do, just in terms of politically. So it's good for Ida.
All right. The next match then was the freelance trio of Mei Seira, Suzuki, and Giulia beating Ranna Yagami, Mirai, and Suri. Mei Seira got the win for her team in just under 11 minutes with a drop kick.
This looks like a lot of Mei Seira, so it was probably good.
I would imagine so. We then had another preview tag when the Queen's Quest trio of Miyu Amasaki, Saya Kamatani, and Azumi beat Hanako, Mina Shirakawa, and Maika. Saya beat Hanako in 13.5 minutes with the Phoenix Shine, which is a submission.
Yes, it is.
What does she do? I'm scrolling. Why? You hear
No,
the scrolling?
I just hear it. I hear it very loudly. I was like, damn,
That
what?
is
It sounded like you were
incredible.
petting a dog. I was like, what the
No,
fuck is
I,
happening
I
right
don't.
now?
I don't have a dog.
I didn't think so. That's why I was confused.
Yeah, they don't
um,
like dogs around
it
here. It's very upsetting.
it's like so she gets a leg trap with her
Hmm.
legs around the back. How the fuck does her leg stretch? Wait, what the fuck is this? Because like I'm looking, I'm just like,
No.
oh, her leg's right there, and then her other leg is like like what the fuck?
Oh yeah, she looks like she's a contortionist. That's absurd. You know
Like
what?
how
We'll
does
have to
this
see it in action.
work?
I have no idea. Um,
Because it
but
looks kind of
then
like a strange, like it looks like an abdominal stretch with the legs.
yeah, it looks like the kind of thing Mayu would do just for fun. You
Yeah,
know?
it looks like it kind of it's a mix of like a Shuri and a Mayu type of move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, after the match, then we kind of had Saya put her end of the promo forward. She was like, "The Empress era and your new unit will end in 1 week."
It's
Um,
crazy.
Micah was like, "Oh, you're going to take everything away from me? Well, you can try. I'm going to take your right arm." She's really going for that arm.
You broke
And
your arm,
then
motherfucker. Every time Saya says something to her, she's like, "Well, you broke your. You
Mike,
remember when you broke your arm?"
no, Dylan is even better. You know that one guy from Vine? Mike is that. You know, I got something to say. I don't care that you broke your collar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Every time it's like, I I'm sorry. Did a chick who broke her arm last year just speak to me? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh man, she's a hater, and I respect that.
great.
Micah and Hanako are a perfect pairing because they are such haters, and I love them for that.
Brings out the best in them.
So
Saya did in the she did say, "Oh, I have the Phoenix Shine today. I have the Phoenix Strike, and I have my biggest finish, the Phoenix Splash. With 3 major Phoenixes, I will definitely win the red belt." That's kind of interesting because I don't think she's mentioned the Phoenix Splash until now. She
yeah,
obviously hasn't done it since getting hurt. So
I mean, yeah, I think it's interesting. We'll talk about when we get to the preview, but it is interesting that she brings all of them up, and it's interesting because it's like, how is this match gonna go? Um,
mhm.
is it like, oh, I see all your new finishes, I'm gonna kick out of all of them? Like, is that what we're going for? I can see that being what we're going for, but I'm interested in it nonetheless. So we'll see. We'll talk about it a little bit more when we get to the preview. I think I have like a vision of what might happen that we could talk about, but
Yes.
that's all preview worthy.
All right. Now there's two weekend. One of them's a house show in Kyoto.
Is it
Um,
KBS?
yeah,
It is,
KBS Hall. Not a whole lot happening on this one.
but they got the pretty glass.
They do. I guess the Stars God's Eye match could be good again. It's Mayuhana and Yuzuki versus Siri, Mirai, and Rana. So that's kind of all he is there. And there's an E Nexus V versus Queen's Quest match again in the main event. So a lot of stuff that we'd have seen the preview tags and stuff. So nothing super
This
important, I
is
would say.
this is getting kind of New Japan-y with
Yes.
specifically Ano and Kid.
Hmm.
Because this is what they do on New Japan tours. Is like literally every other member of your faction, you will have a tag match alongside them against whoever you're facing next, and whoever they can find a tag with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Starlight Kid going through almost every member of her faction to face Ano and Mizumori is very New Japan of them, which is not the only thing that Starlight Kid seems to have gotten from New Japan.
Boy. All right. Well, the big show to preview is on the.
Well,
It is on 4th of February. Is Stardom 13th anniversary Stardom Supreme Fight 2024 Osaka Inami no Ran in the Edion Osaka Arena #1. And this is more in line with what we've been looking for from pay-per-views. Stardom was running 2 a month last year, and they were very stretched. They were very light cards a lot of the time. Whereas here, when you have what? You have 1, 2, 3, 4 titles on the line. You have a special tag match, and you have Tam Nakano return tag. So we went from like 1-2 match shows to this.
Wait a second.
This is a lot more in line with what we
Okay.
would have wanted.
They just haven't gotten a graphic up for the high speed title match.
Yeah.
Because I was
In
like,
general,
is that a non-title? But yeah, this is a really good card.
Yeah. Like in general, this is a lot more what you would have wanted from, pay-per-views.
We discussed this briefly last week, but I kind of want to get your word on it. Xena's still not here.
It's
So we will see.
It's weird,
what's
isn't
going on
it?
with that.
Guess maybe they just have maybe they're waiting for something. Maybe they.
It might be like we talked about it might be a visa issue, and it's
Yeah.
like she's allowed to appear. Like she probably like it's possible she like wasn't paid for the like her coming out and saying hello Japan. So they got away with that, but they can't do much more until she gets that sorted out. That's possible. But I would like to see her back soon because
Mhm.
I feel like she kind of completes the ENV or the EXV.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like with her, you have a strong third for trios matches, and you have somebody who can really anchor matches with Hanako and
And
Waka.
you also just have like that that token foreigner, right? Who's just around, and it's always nice to have a foreigner around. I don't expect her to be as much of a game changer as a Megan Bain or even a Tekla, in that Tekla was just around all the time for years. But like I think it's just nice to have a little a touch of thunder, as it were, on these cards. So hopefully she gets around pretty soon.
Indeed. So in the opening match of the show, we had Mai Sakurai versus Hanako versus Ranna Yagami. So this is one of Hanako's first singles matches since it's joining the new faction. So I'm kind of interested to see how that goes, especially with
Hanako
Ranna
might
there.
beat Ranna, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
what
could
I'm
see them
thinking.
kind of kicking Mai Sakurai out and kind of, I could see that. But I mean, the easiest one is just Mai Sakurai winning.
Yeah, which they might want to do because she gets good a promo then, and they do like Mai Sakurai promos. Then I have Lady C, Miyo Misaki, and Sayaka Kurara taking on Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, and Ruaka. And that's just a tune-up win for Oedo Tai, because Kurara is going to lose there.
What are we doing with Oedo Tai right now, man?
Just letting him chill.
I feel like they're like treading water in a very...
You could say that, and then Starlight Kid is in a white belt match. So
yeah, exactly. No,
don't
that's my
jinx
point.
it.
Is that like
Don't jinx it.
it's the good members of Oedo Tai that are treading water.
You are something else. We then have Amisori and Saki Kashima taking on Hanan and Saida. They are beating people over the head with this Hanan and Amisori feud. Like, they are paired off so often.
Yeah. We'll see. I wonder if they give away another fall before the Cinderella. Because I feel like that's an easy match to run in the Cinderella, is Hanan versus Ami. And
Watch
you
them
could
not
get
do it.
Hanan. Huh?
Watch them not do it.
Oh, definitely.
Like, that's
Something
Stardom to a
that's
T.
easy and makes sense. Fuck that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I imagine they want to do that in the Cinderella so that Hanan can get that win and can move forward in the tournament. But I don't know. I don't know if it could just be Ami over Ira or Sakikashi getting the revival. I don't really see Wingori
I
winning
suspect
this.
we get Ida taking a fall of some sort.
Yeah, we'll see though. I would like it if Wingori didn't take the fall because they're tag team champions, even if it is undercard tag champs. But it's very likely that we just do.
Yeah, probably. We then have a high-speed championship match. We have Mei Seira taking on Hazuki. So quite an interesting one because Hazuki is a bit above this belt, so you wouldn't really expect her to lose.
She's also not been pinned in a high-speed championship match since 2017.
Yeah,
and that includes an entire reign as high-speed champion in between that.
Are they gonna give her the belt? Is this maybe a consolation prize because she was meant to face Anou and that got changed? So they said, "Hey, listen, you can have the high speed belt."
I discussed it a little bit last week with Scotty. I think that this match is very intriguing because it really could go to either wrestler in terms of like who wins the belt. Mei Seira could roll her up. I don't necessarily think that's a likely choice, but the alternatives are it's 15-minute time limit because it's high speed rules. There's also a 10 count on the floor because it's high speed rules. So it's very easy for Hazuki to lose not clean,
Yeah.
to not get pinned and still not walk away with the title. It's very easy to do that. Like I trust out of anybody, I trust these two to go 15 minutes. Like it's that's not hard for them. I don't think. You know what I mean? I've seen Mei Seira have a solid, a pretty good match against Hanan that with 15. And sorry, Hazuki's a lot better at going long than Hanan is, right? So I think that they could do that. But what I kind of saw with the Saki Kashima run as champion is that the high speed belt kind of needs something. It needs some spice, just because there's not a lot going on with
Right.
the division. So I could see Hazuki winning here, and then 6 months from now, Mei Seira winning it back, and like actually
Yeah.
beating Hazuki, and it's a proper passing of the torch that Hazuki never really had to do. She, like I said, she hasn't been pinned in a high speed match since 2017. She hasn't been pinned in a high speed singles match since 2015. In one of her first matches against Koguma, right? So we're going back almost a decade. That's a big win for someone that I think maybe they want to wait on. Uh, so I'm kind of feeling either a draw or a Hazuki win, but we will see. I'm excited. Like this is perfect because Suzuki is that wrestler who like she builds intrigue with like the who's gonna win this type of thing.
Mm.
You know, she does that in matches where it's like impossible for her to win, and this is a match she is the favorite in. You know what I mean? So this is intriguing to me. I'm excited for this.
All right. Yeah. I can see where you're going with Hazuki winning and dropping later. But just how uh, connected and how well booked Stardom has felt this year so far. That seems like something they could definitely do. Um,
Plus, then you get some
so
Hazuki singles matches, which I think
yeah, but that's
it
why it
sucks
could
that
be
it
a
wouldn't be.
consolation prize because you're not
Yeah,
getting your big Ano match, but you
it
get
sucks that it wouldn't be the white belt, but I do think that Hazuki with a belt on her shoulder is
extra business.
not a is a good idea, in principle.
Yeah.
Like just getting her out there to have title matches is a good idea, and she
Mhm.
can't lose all of her title matches that she ever has. So I could see them throwing a bone for her here.
All right.
One thing that I do find interesting, and I'm hopeful that this isn't the case, is if Hazuki is leaving Stars to join Suzu and Mei Seira, this show would make sense for that.
Mm,
And
yeah.
also, if Hazuki wins the high speed belt, her being away from Stars so they can run the Koguma Hazuki match when Koguma gets back is probably something they want to do.
I would want to do that. Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
that's
they'll
pretty
do it
simple.
anyway. They'll do an interfaction match if Hazuki's champion anyway. But like I'm kind of eyeballing that as like this is a prime time spot. Maybe not this match even, but this show could be when they run with that. We'll see. I
Interesting.
don't know. I'm hopeful that
I
it's not the case. But if
I don't
Hazuki's
know.
going anywhere, it's with Mei Seira and Suzu,
Yeah,
in my
definitely.
opinion.
And Stars has been giving some wins to some of the people, Ito getting pins and Hanan
Yeah.
getting pins, and I
So
don't
we'll
know.
see. Um, you know, that's ultimately what it is. It's a wait and see sort of thing. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's a lot of intrigue for Hazuki and Mei Seira on my part, on my end at
Mm.
least.
No,
In
it's an
this show.
interesting one, definitely, because it's a big challenge for May. And either she
You think
loses
they?
and we do more, or she wins and she's the high speed ace.
Do
So
you
I don't know.
think that this match order is off because there's
Yes.
no graphic? Because I'm just thinking they really should not put
they
Yuzuki after.
they are definitely opening with Rina and Yuzuki. They just haven't
I don't know if
formatted.
they'll open with it because those undercards are pretty nothing.
They usually open with the future belt though, even
Yeah,
before
I
that.
wouldn't be opposed to it. I liked
Yeah.
when they opened with them, but we'll see.
Speaking of
Speaking
that,
of which-
then we have a future of Stardom Championship match. Rina defends against Yuzuki. Yeah, this is interesting because Yuzuki is obviously on the fast track. She's beaten a lot of the other rookies. She would do well as champion. But I do still suspect that they want to do the Miyu Misaki run. Her beating Rina, and you have the senior of the class, Miyu Misaki, defending it against her peers until Yuzuki beats her.
Yeah, I don't know what's Rina at in terms of the record.
But I don't know. She's only at like
Sure.
V3 maybe. She defended against
No.
Azusa.
She's V1, V2, V3, V4. This would be V5. The
Mm,
record's V10, I think.
yeah, it'd be
V9.
about that. So, I mean, I don't know. She'd get another one.
Yeah, I think she wins here. Maybe beats Rana.
I don't know if you even
I
do
would
that.
say, it depends on how soon New Blood is. The next New Blood is.
That's true. That is fair.
I also think that them running this title match makes me think that maybe they wait off on Yuzuki winning the belt a little bit longer. Like I don't
Yeah,
think that it's like a, you know, two, three defenses in and Amasaki loses to Yuzuki. I think it's probably closer to year end that they run that. If they run it this year at all, if they don't hold off until early next year.
I don't know if they're that patient. They are
That's
like
true.
they really rocket
They
strap
see a
people.
lot with
And they
Yuzuki.
love Yuzuki. So I don't know. The Miyu Misaki thing is probably the only real story you can do with her though. Like, what else are you going to do with Yuzuki, who's already the top of the class, and Hanako is kind of beyond this belt now. She kind of graduated after losing to Rina, so I don't know.
Now they're gonna run Hanako versus Yuzuki if time permits.
I guess, but I don't know. It feels like they kind of moved her out of that. Although she is challenging for the tag belts, the New Blood tag belts,
Yeah,
so maybe not.
which are below this belt.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's one of those where they have options. Yeah, Rina could
I
just
could
retain and drop to Kevin, or Yuzuki
I
could
could
win
see
and embark on her destruction.
Yuzuki wins and it breeds even more resentment amongst everybody else, including
Mm.
Miyu.
Yeah, but then how do you get to the Miyu win? Because she's running out of time, isn't she?
Maybe.
She's
Hold on, I'm gonna check.
2022 debut. She has a year.
Yeah, she has a year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't
Is
know.
she?
I'm interested.
Wait, Miyu's never challenged for this belt?
That checks out. Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah,
Huh. I mean, we'll see. I could see. I think the next two champions are Yuzuki and Miyu. We'll just see what order that goes in.
yeah.
Ultimately,
That's fair. Um, Next
I
match
could
then
also
is
see
the
them running. Sorry, I could also see them running Rina losing to Yuzuki because um, I think the only other match that they would like want to do maybe is the Hina one, and she like broke her collarbone, so she's out indefinitely. Um, so they can't really do that anymore. So I could see them just kind of being like, well, there's not much more to do. Here you go to Yuzuki if they decide that's the right move.
all right. Fair enough. The match after that is the Tam Nakano return match. It is Tam Nakano and Yuna Mizumori of Cosmic Angels taking on Mina Shirakawa and Waka Tsukiyama of E Nexus V. And yeah, that's a pretty obvious. Tam is going to put Waka in the dirt.
She's gonna get Waka in the airplane spin, and she's gonna
Yeah,
tell
what a
people.
strange thing. She's learning from Kyoko Yamaguchi.
You know, two people who are undefeated at pro wrestling events in the Nippon Budokan.
Interesting. Interesting.
Because Tam beat Giulia in the
Yep.
most recent one,
Yeah.
and the last AJW one had Kyoko Hamaguchi doing a hybrid match, and she won.
Nice. I like it. So, I mean, sure. Yeah, so Tam learned an airplane spin. Maybe that's her safe finisher now. She doesn't want to do a drop.
Okay, we need to have a conversation. If doing a suplex isn't safe, there's concern. A sit-out suplex. Like I know it's dangerous. What I'm saying is for the person doing it. I don't know how much more dangerous. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna shit on Tam here. I have no need. I have somebody else I need to pick a fight with.
dear.
But no, yeah. I mean, this is definitely a Tam win. Did they create a logo for EXV yet?
Not that I've seen.
We will see.
They wouldn't have
We'll
had it.
see what
I don't think they would have had it for the show that went up because they only announced the name.
Yeah.
So it'd probably either be the one after it, if I had to guess.
Yeah, we'll see. I was just wondering. I feel like I think Velke was talking about it, but I don't think there is one yet. He was just speculating. But yeah, I mean, Tam's winning here. We'll see where Tam goes from here, ultimately. Where's Natsupoi?
I don't know, and I am in pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Six
know.
and I need our queen back.
Yeah, I'm getting
that's really
worried
it.
about my high speed girlies. I miss them a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Tam. Welcome back. Maybe Yokohama Buntai main eventer, Tam, because Giulia.
You know,
is
my
handing you
knee-jerk
the
reaction
reins.
was to scream, but I know that'd be really bad for the audio. So I
Yeah,
just had to take a
don't do
deep
that.
breath.
That's okay. We then have a Stardom 13th anniversary special tag match. So we have the technically homegrown team of Mayu, Nanai, Azumi, and Utami Hayashishita. I say technically because Nanai is not a homegrown of Stardom, but she is the co-founder of the company. So
she's not a daughter. She's not a daughter of Stardom. She is the mother of Stardom, quite literally.
Yes. And they're taking on the outsiders of Suri, Mirai, Giulia, and Suzuki. So
you know what's fucked?
What?
Giulia's beating Azumi because everything is bad in this world.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. You're right. I don't know where we go from here.
I'm just gonna start fucking screaming. Like I was gonna be viscerally upset.
Yeah. What we can hope for is that it's great, and it should be. Looking at who's involved, but who knows? If it was me, I would focus on Giulia versus Utami. But no, they're not.
Oh
me.
yeah, maybe that is something I was thinking. They could just put the belt on Utami. The strong belt.
I don't know. I feel like Vakir challenging
would be fucking insane.
Oh, dude, any of that basically Vakir versus any of these people is cool.
Correct. But Utami also is one of the people who likes going to America, likes wrestling in America.
Yeah, so. Well, I mean, she did it once. I feel like that's.
Yeah, but she, I mean, her first big title match was in America.
Yeah.
She had a good experience in GCW, as far as I'm aware. You know, outside of Io Shirai and her contract tampering, it seems like it was a pretty successful trip. So I could see Utami being kind of like their bridge to America with Giulia gone, though that is a pretty bad idea because I don't know, get Shuri in America. She doesn't seem like the type who would go to WWE. You know, do you need to
will we have to worry about Triple H for much longer though? Part of me thinks we won't.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's the truth. I feel like the executives in TKO are going to look at all of his responses, and just go, get out of here. You are not fit for this. So yeah, I don't know how long we have to worry about Big Nose. So hopefully,
and he's the one who for whatever reason likes Japan. It's funny because Triple H was never that good of a wrestler. So it's like I don't know when he started watching Japanese wrestling. You know, because I was like, if you were watching this like 12 years ago, surely you would have been better. Surely you would have been like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I should like figure something out like that. Like, no, maybe. Why did you decide to get into it now when all you could do is ruin our lives and not be a better wrestler?
Yeah, I don't know, man. He's a
That's
strange
just
guy. He's a strange guy.
If Triple H had watched the Takayama tapes, I think things would be a little bit different. That's all I'm saying. Maybe not, probably not, but that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I I wonder if they do run Utami Julia before Julia dips.
We're running out of
In
time
Next.
unless they
That's
do it
the
in
issue.
Cinderella. But doing it in Cinderella feels like cheap at this stage. So I don't know.
At this point, I don't know what the fuck they do. Quite frankly, frankly,
How did you mess
sorry,
up?
just trying to.
Frankly, frankly, I
Yeah.
think.
Frankly, I don't know what they
Professor
can
Frank.
do. Thank you for that. your Seth Rollins ass laugh was crazy there. That's wild.
How
You went
dare you? How
like that was
dare
crazy.
you compare me to that
Oh
walking
man.
Muppet? It'll not sound like I'm in the
Oh,
Muppet.
I need to send you a meme. I need to send you a meme after this. I hope I
Okay.
saved it, but it'll come later. Um. Anyways, I don't know what they do with Julia because we talked about it briefly earlier, and I didn't really give a fuck because I was just angry. But now I'm like schematically stressed out for this company.
Yeah. No. You know what? I don't think stress is the right thing because she is currently a ghost, and it doesn't matter. Like
Yeah, but just like,
the Bane
oh
match
my
was,
god,
we're gonna do it like CM Punk. Like CM Punk actually retired against Samoa Joe.
oh,
Julia
100%.
actually left after the Bane match. That's how we're gonna
Yeah.
work it.
To be fair, I do that a lot with revisionist history. Kagetsu
I
lost
love
the
me
red
some
belt to
revisionist
Mayu.
history. I love me some
You do
revisionist
know that,
history.
right? Kagetsu lost the red belt to Mayu at that year-end show.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Which
You're right.
like that, all the time between that is kind of a blur. But yeah, I mean, I guess they can combine the red belt and the strong belt and
Maybe
just do that one match.
we should just do Mayu Julia and get it over with.
They should. They should.
Just get it over. We don't need those two belts. Mercedes
I mean,
Monet does not want
Mayu's
one.
real funny, because I mean, if you look at it with Tekla, she was just like, I kind of want a belt. Can I have a belt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill
Yes.
this white chick for it. She could do that with Julia.
Mhm.
She could just be like, I kind of want your belt. I don't know, purple's kind of cool. I've never had that one before.
She has. They have talked about this for like months now, so it
They
wouldn't
should
be.
probably just run it and have that be.
Well, if Julia was staying for American Dream Cinderella or whatever it is, that's a pretty easy match to
Big
do.
Apple. Yeah.
But I don't know if she's staying for that. I don't think that's in the plans.
That's
If
what I mean.
she's
I think
gonna
she might
go.
have one pay-per-view left, which
Yeah.
is deeply concerning.
Oh, the Cinderella final is usually loaded anyway. I feel like you can do
But you can't
a
do
match.
everything.
You can
She
do.
can't
You can
put
do the
over
one you need.
Micah. She can't put over Micah, lose the strong belt.
Yeah, but you can
Like,
do the one
unless
you
they
need.
run that.
So I don't know. Just do Mayu or do
And this is all
Micah.
based off the assumption that post March she's out, which it sounds like she is, considering she's not doing either of the American shows.
Yeah. Well,
We'll
there was
see.
nothing said about Dream Cinderella, but yeah, you'd assume.
Oh, did she,
Put me
I
at
thought that
that.
was announced that she wasn't going to be at either of the American shows, and Buntai was the one that was in the air.
Tweet that I saw was just that she won't be at Windy City Riot, but I don't
Okay,
know
well,
the
we'll see.
exact. This is also assuming Dave is right, and I'm not saying Dave is always wrong, but it depends on who he's getting his information from there. And she might have an agreement with Rossi that she doesn't have with Bushi Road. So I don't know. She might be out of Windy City Riot, but she might do Stardom because she feels the need to. And she's also not going immediately to WWE. That is the report from everywhere. She's spending time in Japan. Saori has basically said outright that she's wrestling Giulia. So she is going to be here. So maybe it's just that she won't be working New Japan, but she will work a Stardom show or two. Because she's not going to America. She is doing the Saori match at this stage. I feel like that's set in stone.
You think she's
So
having that Kyrie run where she just phones it in even more, and Sairi forces her to?
I think
to do
if
something.
she half-assed it against Saori, I think she would actually kill her. Saori feels like she would actually hurt someone.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
also Giulia's her kohai, so she could do that, and I
Mm.
don't think anybody would be upset. People would be that's a joke, obviously. People would be upset, but I you know she wasn't about to stiff Kyrie because she wasn't giving it her all. Because Kyrie, wait, no, Saori debuted before Kyrie too. Kyrie's all these motherfuckers'
Saori's been here
moms.
for a long time. People
Yeah,
don't realize.
Kyrie ain't got. You forget how short Kyrie's career has been because she wasn't even like an original.
Wrestled for 4 years. That's crazy. Uh,
Yeah. And only
yeah.
3 of them were good.
Oof. Wow. Well,
That
yeah,
was a
no.
shot. Yeah, I don't know. Back to this match. It's fucked up that Azumi's taking the pin, probably to Giulia.
Yeah, but you know what? We have half an hour left, so let's get on to the big important matches because you were going to have a lot to say. So our next
It's
match
only
is a
2,
Wonder.
but
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot to say. So it was a Wonder of Stardom Championship match. Saori Anou defends against Starlight Kid. Starlight Kid got some hairs on end when she spoke to Shupro and said, "I want to bring this belt back for Stardom, but I also hate the belt. I want to destroy it." So she
then
is
she said, "Hey,
teasing.
you." Well, I don't know if she said this or if Shupro ad libbed it. They're like, "Hey, you know David Finley? Yeah, like that."
Yeah,
Because
so
everybody loved it when David Finley did it.
you know, if they did that, it would be the second time Stardom has just made a random unforced error with the white belt in like 12 months. Um, and I'm just hoping Rossi has wised up from last year. That's all I can say.
I
Because
worry that this isn't a Rossi decision. That's where I'm at.
I don't know. Why would they create a new belt? Who wants a new belt?
Bushiroad loves new belts.
Yeah, but that's for New Japan. This is they have nothing else going for them.
What are
Stardom
you
actually has
talking about?
belts up and down the card. New Japan has like one.
What are you? Okay, you just don't watch New Japan.
No, I don't. But like the only belt that matters is the heavyweight belt because they ruined every other one.
No,
So
because the other one that mattered was their white belt, and they got rid of it.
that was definitely a Gato thing though. He's just really bad. So
Yeah,
I think that was Gato.
but then they had the opportunity to bring it back, and Bushiroad, the higher up, said, "Nah, we ain't doing that." Whereas,
That's true. But you
where-
see, the thing is,
I-
Bushiroad tried to
the issue,
force them to do things that Gato just wouldn't do, whereas I think Stardom is a lot more easygoing. Like, there's no, we need a belt for young wrestlers because you won't ever push them, because Stardom will push young people. So I don't think there's as much
but
worry about Bushiroad going, okay, we need a new belt for you to do what we want, because they do what you want anyway.
no, I don't think that's what this is about. I
You think?
think and it's interesting because I think Rossi, as he's gotten older, has gotten a bit more sentimental.
Mm,
Because at one point I always thought it was a bit weird because Rossi was very antagonistic towards the past.
yeah.
Um, and in recent years, as we've seen, he's gotten a lot less antagonistic towards the past. So, and for people who don't know, if they got rid of the white belt, depending on in what fashion it gets replaced, um, that the white belt is the
Dude, that is catastrophic.
yeah.
I'm not even like overreacting. This belt was created for your first ace
And
and
not only
has
that,
continued.
it's the I forget what the word is. The successor, the honorary successor of the All Pacific Championship. Like
Yes.
that is important, you
Yeah.
know. These things are important. Like, and that's what I mean is that Rossi, up until pretty recently, has been pretty like I said, antagonistic towards the past. In that he was very much like, I don't give a fuck about back then. What we need to do is look forward. But this is something that has always been the case. Is that it's like, well, AJW is the biggest company in the world, and the biggest women's company in the world, most important women's company in history. I'm going to honor them with the white belt and with the red belt. Red belt on top, like the 3WA, white belt in the middle, like the All Pacific. And if you destroy the white belt and replace it with some other belt, like just historically, like in that sense, it's insanely disrespectful. Especially to do it
Yeah.
in such a way of like Starlight Kid just one day decided that this is what we're going with. Like that's like the, I'm worried. I'm worried about this situation here.
Yes. It would definitely be just a big unforced error. And I've been like very behind Starlight Kid. Like I said 18 months ago, I would have had her win the GP last year. Her versus Giulia should have been a red belt match that they did in like a big match. Like
Yeah.
Kid being pushed is something I've waited for.
It is
But
kind of funny that
she's
one
ice
of the
cold.
few one of the few kid matches that like one of the few kid matchups and one of the few Julia matchups that I was like obsessed with is just not gonna ever happen again.
Hmm.
That's
Like
fucked up.
and she right now is really cold. I mean,
Yeah.
she got her ass beat in the GP. She got injured. She came back, got her ass beat again. Like the build up to
Has
this has
not
been
been very
pretty.
good in the past couple months
The build up to this has been
post
pretty
injury.
horrendous. So for her to do something so huge would be completely out of left field. Um, but you know, Stardom want to, they just do shit, right? Like if they want a new belt, they'll do it. So I don't know. Um,
I also worry because these sorts of things, Stardom is weird, but usually you could see something coming at least a little bit.
Mm.
When you can't, I get concerned.
well, I don't know. I feel like they've set up some stuff for Ano. It's just whether they do it or not because they seem to have
No,
rushed away
but
from Hazuki versus Ano to this
yeah,
on a dime. And
that
Kid
is
is
what I mean.
out
Is
here talking about bringing the belt back and hating it and wanting to destroy it, and you're like, okay, that's
yeah,
different than Poi versus Ano being teased. That is a lot different. What are you doing? So
that's also something that's funny. Is just like how are you doing the David Finley bit, but doing it worse than David Finley? David Finley is bad, but like he was a heel and he was like, I hate America and the UK, so I don't want a fucking US UK belt. Fuck that shit. That at least
yeah,
makes sense. Starlight Kid's like, I need to save this belt because this is so important to Stardom, but also I'm going to destroy it. That makes
yeah, that
no
was weird.
fucking sense, Starlight Kid.
That was so
That makes no
contradictory.
sense.
She was like baby facing herself for like a minute, no reason, and I was like, "What? Like, what are you doing?" So yeah, I don't. Characterization of that is weird. But I mean, threatening to destroy a belt people like is very much a heel thing. So I'm not surprised she's gone for it, but I don't, I
But
don't see her winning.
it's
I don't see
it's
her
so
winning just yet.
specific that I fear that she is.
I don't know. I feel like they do the Ano run. I don't know why you do a V0 for Ano when Mirai just had it.
Because Starlight Kid. And also it depends on what not point status
Listen, all
is.
right. I know. Sonny was like Starlight Kid is an excellent politicker. She got her ass beat for 6 months last year. Her and her mom must be really bad at this. So I'm
Okay,
sorry.
that is also I think revisionist history, but that's just me
She
because
lost everything. She lost to Momoway. They didn't. She didn't even beat the old women. Like,
yeah, that was within like 2 months that she was like actually losing. She lost to the old women and then lost her new blood tag title and then got injured. That was it. Like
and was
that was
like
within like
she
two
was
and a
like
half
two.
months
She
that
was
she
like
was a
2-6.
loser.
She was 2-6 in that GP.
Yeah. Okay.
She
So
was
so the
eliminated by
GP,
week
which
3.
the GP that which coincided with the legend stuff and also coincided
Mhm.
with her losing the new blood belt,
Yes,
all was
yes.
within like 2 months.
And
She
then
was a loser for 2 months and then got injured and then came back and was no longer a loser.
she lost her comeback match. She literally lost her return match. Azumi pinned her in her return match. Then she lost to Mayu in Mayu's return match. She has been doing nothing but losing aside from one battle royal.
Yeah, but I think the idea that like Starlight Kid has been buried is so insane.
It's not that she's buried,
Because
it's just that she is not this master
no, but
politicker
that's
if she's been getting beaten up so much. She lost to Momoe Nakanishi. Okay? If you cannot out politic Momoe Nakanishi, I am sorry you are not very good at it. So
but
I'm
I
just not buying
think
it.
that people don't look at what politicking means. Like,
I mean,
politicking isn't like outside of if you're really good at it and you have your boss by the balls. Like, politicking isn't like, oh, I'll never lose a match ever again, or oh, I'll only lose once a year. Like, everybody in Stardom has downswings. Starlight Kid had a downswing for a month and a half. Hazuki's been on a downswing for the past 7 years. Utami's been on a downswing for the past 4 years, 3 years now. Like, Kid having a 2-month downswing is out of the ordinary.
I don't know. I don't know.
And if she wins here, it'll be especially out of the ordinary.
Yes. I mean, listen, it would be really bad. Let's not get that twisted. This kid winning here would be stupid because it's been very badly built. Anou has just won the belt and has.
She also
big
just came off
matches.
of an injury and hasn't had a good singles
I
match
know.
since then.
Listen, you're telling me Kid is. I'm number one. Kid should have been a red or white belt champion by now, defender, but not now. Not this. She is not on the run of momentum required for this white belt. The story that they're trying to tell here is just does not seem great at all. Unless she goes the Naito route and just starts throwing it around, then maybe. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem very good to me based on what they've said to Shupro and just based on what I've
Starlight
seen.
Kid being the Naito would be so lame. Because there's so many people I've been like, oh, she could do the Naito bit.
I know
And then
you hate Kid.
Starlight Kid does it.
I know you hate
It's
Kid.
like,
I know you hate Kid. Please.
oh yeah, I inform people that the number one Starlight Kid hater would be coming out on this show.
Oh no.
Because I've been quiet.
This is why I said we needed a half hour. You were like,
I've
no,
been
we don't.
quiet.
It's only
Like
2 matches. But
I don't
yeah.
I don't really like, it's interesting because in Stardom usually, and that's why I know about this. That's why I know that this is like different in terms of like Starlight Kid's downswing. Because usually in Stardom, when somebody gets pushed a lot and I'm not too fond of them, I get annoyed, but then they kind of like lose priority and they start just kind of like having to put together on house shows, not really are in your face all the time. And usually that's at the point where I think, okay, now I could see them for what they really are. And usually my opinion of them laxes a little bit. That didn't happen for Starlight Kid. Starlight Kid was on the downswing, but in doing so, she stunk up her matches worse than she did earlier. Like, her 5-star was actively bad. Even before she got hurt. She was doing poor work. And I think her coming back to have this title match is like, oh boy. Like, and I love Saori Anou, but I have concerns about her Stardom big match style. And I don't think Starlight Kid is the person to put that to rest. Uh, I'm concerned about this match. As I was saying, Stardom's weird, and I don't like. I know that Shoe Pro is like big part like just wrestlers talking their shit, but I don't like how specific of a of a story they're going for here. I'm concerned. I'm very concerned that we are going to get Starlight Kid winning the belt, destroying it, and introducing something new, which would be some people wouldn't care, but like as somebody who like I'm a wannabe wrestling historian, as somebody who gives a fuck about those sorts of things, I would be insanely upset about it.
All right. Well, we took a short break for Dylan to calm down and get his frustrations out. He was going full heat. If Kid does beat Anou and the worst happens, he can get mad next week. But for now, I'm willing to give her a chance against Anou. I'm willing to give Stardom a chance, as I hope, beyond all hope, that they don't do it.
I got so many texts when Starlight Kid said that initially about destroying the belt, including friend of the show Widescreen, who texted me. What was it? Look, Look on the bright side of this wild Starlight Kid interview. Stardom Quest is gonna be really funny if it happens. So uh, people are already predicting my
Yeah.
anger and
Listen, you'll get free reign. It's pretty stupid. I won't lie to you. You know, I think it's bad. It's the wrong time for it to win. Wrong story. Just everything feels off.
what if I was wrong and the one person that they want to get over with Giulia is Kid?
That would maybe save it, but I don't know how you would
I
do
would
it.
still be mad. I would still be mad.
Yeah.
But
Well, I don't know how you do it with her wanting to like destroy the belt. That's the part that like confuses me. You know, like how does that work? What do you do? Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, that's that match.
Shoot Pro said it would be David Finlay, so that.
Okay.
Even though that, yeah, whatever.
All right. The main event then of this show is a World of Stardom Championship match. Maika defends against Saya Kamitani, and they've done a really good job of building this. Just the promos between them have been good. The previews have been kind of good. They have teased a few different things. Like this could end 4 or 5 different ways. With Maika saying, "I'm going to break your arm," Saya being like, "I have my 3 Phoenix specials now." As Maika has the Michinoku driver. They've built this to where there's a few different ways it could end. And there's a lot of stuff that they can do. Like with Saya bringing up the Phoenix Splash, I imagine she might try it here finally, and maybe that's what costs her. Yeah, I just they've kept a lot of intrigue in this match, and I'm really interested in it just from a who wins and how do they win perspective, especially with Maika being so bombastic. It's like, okay, if you're gonna break her, you gotta break her. This is the time.
Yeah, so I went back and checked. Last time Maika beat Saya Kamitani in a singles match was in late 2020. And shit, the only times that Maika has beaten Saya in a championship match at all were artist title matches, and that obviously I don't think neither of them were over Saya. So Maika historically is terrible against Saya. Great rivalry, but historically is just not good when tasked with facing Saya. I find that very interesting. I do think similar to you, I think that what we're gonna get is Maika kicking out of the Phoenix Strike, Maika getting to the ropes off of the what is it, the Phoenix Shine?
Yeah.
And either going up for the Phoenix Splash and hesitating, or hitting the Phoenix Splash and Maika moves out of the way, gets the knees up, something, and Maika wins. I think it will be the Phoenix Splash that's the decider, ultimately. Who knows? Maybe Saya just wins. But no, I think that it will be the Phoenix Splash. That's like the big thing, right? I mean, I look back at the Muda retirement, where he kept teasing the moonsault, but he was just like, I can't do it. I could see them maybe going with that instead, and Saya just being like, it was like kind of hesitating a bit, and Maika tossing her off the top rope, hitting the Michinoku driver and winning. I think it will all come down to that Phoenix Splash. I really hope that Maika doesn't kick out the Phoenix Splash. That's my only hope.
I don't think they will. I don't think they'll do that. They might never have somebody kick out of that. They know what that move means. Mina did? You sure?
We had like a 3-week long argument about it.
Oh, I totally forgot, which tells you enough about how little that probably meant. I don't know. I thought it was a different one. I thought it was a delayed. Was it not a delayed thing?
No, I don't think there was a delay.
Well,
no, because I was saying if there was a delay, it would be fine. But Mina just straight up kicked out of the Phoenix Splash.
Oh, well, go Mina.
Very much pissed me off.
A beast. Yeah, maybe
Still
Maika
to this
does
day, it
kick
actually
out.
pisses me off. That's why I'm saying Maika should not kick out the Phoenix Splash.
If anybody's gonna do it, it should be Maika. It's just like your age-old
You
rival.
said that. You said that about fucking Mina. Okay, no, I'm
I
tired
was
of
right
this.
then.
Nobody kicks
I'm
out the
right
fucking
now.
Phoenix Splash. Stop kicking out the Phoenix Splash. It pisses me off, please.
All right,
And if
Jim.
Starlight Kid wins
Right.
and then Micah kicks out
Mr.
the Phoenix Splash,
Cornet
I
over
am
here.
going to get.
All right then. This is Mr. Old
What?
School.
Cornet would be upset that anybody's hitting the fucking Phoenix Splash, not that people are kicking out of it.
No, I think he would be upset that they're kicking out of it.
You're breaking my brain right now.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I've decided to be antagonistic. You're too heated. It's too easy.
Yeah, I know.
'Cause I'm not heated.
Yeah.
I'm just here to enjoy the show. I'm in Scott mode. I'm like, listen, no matter what you can
if
do,
you engage in
I'm
an
here.
argument, you've already lost. That's the issue. And I engage in so many arguments.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just in Scott mode. I'm just enjoying the wrestling at the moment. So you can't get me.
Yeah, wrestling's all right.
Listen, I watched the dregs of SmackDown last week for a women's tag match. I think Stardom is like God to me right now.
How is the women's tag match? How did that end up being?
I never thought Casey Catanzaro would outdo one of the Threedom, but Kyra's putting in an impressively bad shift in the Fed.
Oh yeah,
Like she is
like
so
noticeably.
bad.
It's
Her stuff.
It's alarming.
She's like an inch away from connecting with everything, and she's a second behind everybody. And it's like, did the Stardom roster carry you this badly, or have you just phoned it in entirely?
She loves money.
Yeah, so that was fun. I remember people were like, "Oh, it was like a fun match for TV for a women's tag," and I was like, "Sure, let me go and watch it."
This is what you guys want from this?
Yeah, and then I just went, "Man, Kyrie, you have let me down so bad." And Asuka, I don't know about Asuka anymore. She's it's catching up to her. The mileage might be catching up to Asuka. So
yeah.
Because Casey and Caden were the better team. Like I don't like they're an impressive tag team, you know, and the Kabuki Bar Warriors were less impressive. So yeah, so Stardom is good to me right now. You can't hurt me, Rossi. Try your best.
You know, I'm about to watch an old 85, an old AJW show from 85 for a thing I'm working on. And just looking at that card, I was like, holy shit, wrestling's so cool. Wrestling's so good.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to do that.
Yeah, for a Micah V1, I think she's done everything she could really do to make this good. Her and Sai deserve a lot of credit. I think they've built it really well. They've got the anticipation.
You know what I could actually see them running?
What?
Micah hitting a hammerlock Michinoku driver.
Sure. Why not?
At some point during the match, and like that being like a big spot. Like, do you know what I'm talking about with the arm behind the back type of gimmick? I think see, the issue with matches, with previewing matches, is I always like come up with a spot that I think would be super cool, and then I get slightly disappointed when it doesn't happen.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably not gonna happen. But if it did, it'd be
probably not. I mean, she does the spinny one, so why would she need another version?
Well, to fuck with her arm, because like the point is,
that's what the armbar is for. That's why she's doing arm submissions. You know, the worst possible course of action.
Just putting on an armbar.
Worst thing they could do is make this like a submission limb work match. I think that would be completely bad. But I trust Saya enough to know that she can't do that. So I think she'll.
Luckily, it's an arm work and not a leg work one, because a bad arm work like match can be saved easily by like a fun, but a bad leg work match can't be, because it's like, okay, well now you shouldn't be able to do anything, because like your leg doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
As with your arm, you can kind of like I think there's adaptations you could do that make it interesting.
With Saya and Micah, maybe not. I think they should.
Saya can just throw as many kicks. Saya could just throw a shit ton of kicks and do her submissions and shit.
Yes, maybe.
You know.
I don't know.
If Micah does work the arm at all, if and when Saya misses the Phoenix Splash and comes up selling her arm,
will it be worth it?
That's it.
Will it be worth it though? That's my question.
It would.
Sure.
Well, I think that like Micah, like there's an inherentness to Micah's match against somebody who's not another power wrestler. I think Micah has lanes that she'll go in, and I think one of those lanes is working Saya's arm, because that's what the story is, Alex. So yeah, I do think she's gonna work the arm, and
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be cool.
I don't know.
And
Their
I think
best stuff
Saya
is when
is
they're
a
teeing
cool.
off on each other, though.
I think Saya's a good enough seller to. Which arm did Saya break? Was there left or right?
Um, based on the way she jumped, I want to say left.
Oh
She
yeah,
like
it was the
leaned
left.
that way
Well,
when she
she
did the
still
crossbody.
she could still tee off. Like her forearms are with the right. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they might
everybody's
not
forearms are
do
with the
that
right.
if she's selling the arm. They might not want to do that. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. I just think
I
that would
think
be
this
the
could be
worst
really great.
coercive action. But either way, I think they've done a good job of building the match, and I think Micah deserves credit for making V1 so good. I think she's done a lot of good work with her promos. Saya has done good work with hers, and if Micah as champion is going to be her getting it to this level, then I'm all
I
in for a
forget they
Micah
do
reign.
the Korakuen doubleheader in February's.
Yeah, that's
They
a
have
thing.
that Korakuen the 14th and the 17th. They have 2
That's
Korakuens in a
cool.
row.
That would be fun. Corkin with the level that they're working at right now could just go crazy.
Yeah, I
Because
wish they were
Stardom's been
live,
good.
but that's
We
Um,
can't do that. Yeah, Micah's retaining. I feel like this is a very small chance of Saya winning, just because. Why would you do that?
I think this match is the one with the least amount of does Micah lose? Especially with the
Yeah.
faction. If
Yes. Yeah.
Micah was in
Like.
Suzu's position, if Micah was in
hmm,
Suzu's position, if Suzu was champion right now, I
yeah.
could maybe see like a bit of like, oh, maybe Saya beats Suzu because Suzu doesn't have a faction yet. But Micah has something that she needs to protect.
hmm,
And you can't start a faction one week and lose the red belt the next.
no.
I think
I
that's
think even
terrible.
even on Rossi's worst day, I don't think he would give somebody a faction just to take the belt on V1.
Yeah, and even Club
Well, now in
Venus,
saying that, he did kind of do it to Mina, but
but Club Venus started
Tam
before
wasn't
that.
doing this.
Club
That's
Venus
true.
started
Yeah, yeah,
before that for a
yeah.
different reason. Club
Mhm.
Venus wasn't created because Mina was going to be champion. Club Venus was created because Mina spoke English,
Yes, that's true.
and they
Yeah.
wanted to bring in foreigners. Like that. That quite
hmm
frankly, it just so happened that Mina was over and was ready to kind of get on that hot track. And it was because I mean, also initially, Club Venus was just a sub faction of Cosmic Angels. If Mina wasn't as hot as she was, I could believe that that would just continue to have been the case for a while. Was just, oh, it's the English branch of Cosmic Angels. Like, why not? Um, so I think Club Venus was a very different thing overall than this is. Like, Micah needs the red belt to legitimize this group that
Yes.
has 2 rookies, a foreigner, and her co-leader. Like, you need something here. So
Yeah. No, that's true. So that's that. Micah's going to retain. Very
yeah,
interested in this match. I'm quite into this show. I think it's a pretty strong card, even if
totally.
Anno versus Poi or Anno versus Kid might not be the best thing
You know
ever, but
what? They
why?
don't have any pay-per-views after this. Do they announce the Cindy lineup?
Probably do it at Corkin.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Cinderella Final is going to be the next pay per view. They're going to load that up
Yeah,
again. That's
yeah.
crazy.
I'm excited.
See,
I'm
this new
cautious.
Stardom is going to take some getting used to because, like
I'm
in late
cautiously
February,
excited for the Cindy. But go on, sorry.
in like late February when all they have is Gunma and Utsu no Miya, I'm gonna be like, I need wrestling to watch, and I'm just not used to that because Stardom used to be so overwhelming. Like catch me in late February watching AAA or some shit, maybe not AAA. That's like really bad,
What?
but
Where are they running in Shibuya?
I don't know.
Oh, Bellsal Shibuya
The Bell
for sure.
Cell chain is crazy, but anyway, that is that for this show. We will be back next week to talk about this pay per view. We will have it watched in full, I assume, because it is airing live. Yeah, we'll break down everything. We'll talk about how Starlight Kid maybe ruined the company. Not actually. That will be a Dylan thing. I probably won't agree with him. Maybe, possibly. Hopefully, we'll be talking about a Micah Saya heater because they could definitely have a heater. Hopefully, we're talking about Hazuki and Mei Seira having a heater because that should be a heater. Yeah, you
Look in the
okay
Discord
there?
real quick.
Scott is an evil, evil man.
So real. For obviously audio listeners, Scotty just sent in our recording Discord a picture of Mayu hitting the pose over Mina's dead body after their 5-star match that I alluded to earlier, where she ate her alive, bro. And that was a good 5-star for Mina too. Like Mina was getting her shit together, uh, and she still just got fucking eaten alive by Mayu Iwatani because she's Mayu Iwatani. But yeah, Scott sent that picture. So thank you, Scott. Appreciate that.
I will ruin Scott's life. I'm telling you. I will go nasty. I have screenshots that would make him look bad. That's all
Okay,
I can
you
say.
can't just say that without context.
There can be no context. It's funnier without context. I will ruin him.
Okay,
It's okay.
well, say he like called a wrestler bad or something. Not like you can't just say, especially this week. You can't just say I could ruin you. You know, like we don't want that right now.
Yeah, I mean nobody would cancel Scotty like that. He's a wholesome bean. He wouldn't do anything like that. But I will take him down.
He's a great guy.
I will take him down. I will erase him from history.
Jesus Christ, that's
You don't come for me now. That's it. I didn't even talk about how much she slayed the dance. Her dancing to Micah's entrance theme is so. Oh my god, we're gonna have to invent some words for it. Like it is queen behavior. She slayed.
nah.
Yeah.
Queen's Quest is a different faction. This is the new Nexus. We are one. We are one. We are one. We will stand together.